ready to call the meeting. Call this meeting order also and face the flag for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Speak it to It didn't turn on.
Roll call, Britton Luther.
Present.
R.J. Dunlin.
Here.
Tim Yokelman's present. Approval of minutes.
Motion to approve minutes and series here, February 26th special meeting, the March 26th meeting, and the April 1st special meeting.
Second the motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of claims.
Motion to approve claims.
Second the motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of payroll.
Make a motion to approve payroll.
Second motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Economic development update.
I don't really have a whole lot, just really a couple of announcements. One is just remember that the fourth Monday of every month is going to be office hours for aspiring entrepreneurs or businesses within the county that would like to meet with the Small Business Development Center. They're there from 11 to 4 every day. She'll take appointments on the hour to be able to sit down and have some consulting. And then the other piece that I want to make sure to get the information out about is the bicentennial at the end of the month. So on April 26th, the fourth graders will be bringing we'll be doing a field trip up here to the courthouse. They'll be having lunch down at the library, and then they are writing a letter to themselves, to their future selves 50 years from now, and we'll be filling a bicentennial or a time capsule. So great, wonderful day planned for them all day on Friday the 26th, and then on April the 27th is a Saturday. It's going to be a great day in Vermilion County. There's lots of things going on that day. We're going to start here at the courthouse with the bicentennial at 9 a.m. And there'll be displays throughout the courthouse. The Van Dyne High Ability class is going to be putting their wax museum on display on one of the floors.
Just a second. Could Dell come in? Is Dell already there or is he gone?
I think
Is
he
Dell
already-
already gone?
He left.
Yes.
Okay. Could one of you come up and explain to you what we did this morning with her, representing the...
About the T-shirts and...
Yeah, I mean, about the funding and make it, put it on the record what went on so it could be discussed when you're done, what they did.
The Van Dyne Wax Museum will be on display along with town board history, their history displays, and the festivals. Also going on is going to be the 4-H Ag Fun Fest and Ag Fair at the fairgrounds, so there'll also be community events there. From 10 to 2, there will be early voting here at the courthouse. We will close out the day here at the courthouse at noon on the bicentennial piece with a flag racing, and Commissioner Yoakum will be reading Senator Young's speech and burial of the time capsule. Then we will also have a ribbon cutting at 1 at the county annex. So lots of things to do within the county on Saturday the 27th, so make sure you put that on the calendar.
And the
I'd
small,
like for you to discuss what we did this morning.
one thing,
with the
small
check.
business, that's no cost to the participants, right?
Correct. On the small business piece, on the fourth Mondays of each month, there is no cost on any of that. You can just come in, you can drop in or call the office and schedule an appointment.
Vermilion County Community Foundation was asked to donate money to buy the T-shirts for the fourth graders, and I thought that was a great idea, and I appreciate whoever got involved in that, because this is a great situation for the county, and we are happy as a foundation to donate this money for this cause. That's about what we did. We took pictures and so forth.
Yes.
That was also for the coin,
Yes,
for the
and they're
choir.
also gonna get, I guess I should have brought that with me, I left it on my desk in the office, they'll have a t-shirt, it'll have the Community Foundation and the Vermilion County logo on the front sleeve, and then on the back is a large bicentennial logo, it'll have the county seal with the bicentennial and the dates, and then they also get a chip or a coin that has the bicentennial logo and the state seal on the other side. So every fourth grader will get one of those along with their teachers and principals. So thank you to the Community Foundation for making that happen. That's super exciting for the kids to have as a little memento for a big event here in the county.
The other thing is Furry Manufacturing is doing a small vault for it. The contents for free, and then Mac Monument, Fresh Funeral Home in Clinton is doing like a grave marker to have the dates on it and when it was done. It's going to be a 50-year event. So these kids in fourth grade, how are they, 10 or 12, probably in fourth grade, or how old are they in fourth grade?
Yeah, about 9 or 10.
Okay, so in 50 years, this is going to be dug up in 50 years. So these kids that are putting their papers in there are actually going to be able to, if they're still around, they will be part of digging that back up. And we hope that they could dig it back up and then put more to that. And then another 50 years, and it'd be an ongoing historical thing. And I think the historical people here think that'd be great, I think. And it'd be ongoing historical events for our county. So neat program. You need any volunteers? You got it all covered.
I think it's pretty well covered. So all the communication went out to all of the county offices. I think I sent it on Friday, so everybody should have the breakdown of the detailed schedule for that day, of the flow of the kids, when we're going to be down at the library for lunch and the reading of their letters. We should be back at the courthouse around 1:15 to do a large group picture, and the kids will do a groundbreaking for the whole for the time capsule. So I think all of that is in good shape. And then on Saturday, Kathy and I are working diligently to get as much of the stuff together as we can. With being as busy of a day as it is, any of the town boards that have their history displays from the bicentennial that they want to put on display, if for some reason they cannot be there either Friday after the courthouse closed to set it up or early Saturday morning, they can coordinate with me. I'll get it. They can bring it to my office. I'll get it from them and bring it and set it up for them, because we want to make sure that all of the towns are displayed just like what they were.
Also, we had Mike Clark from the Highway Department talk with the town of Newport. The road out here will be closed off on the south west corner. That will be closed off there. The road coming over the hill will be closed off, and this north side, the south side, and the east side roads on the courthouse will be closed off, cordoned off. We're going to have a lot of kids here, about 160 kids, so we're going to have a controlled area of a safe, for them. So that will also be going on.
They'll have a protected area to walk down to the library and back. So.
When do you think we can have a agenda thing and put out so people can know exactly what's going on for those 2 days, in complete?
The one for Friday is already sent to those that are involved. So all I have left to do for Saturday is to confirm. I've confirmed with South Vermilion. I just had to get a confirmation with North Vermilion for their band or choir for them to perform. So I reached out to their principal and the teachers again on Thursday. So as soon as I have their confirmation, then that's it. That's the last thing I'm waiting on for the final agenda on Saturday.
You did a very good job. You did a lot of work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It was a lot
Thank
of
you.
work, but it's coming together.
Open up for public comment. If anyone has a public comment, come and address, state who you are, give you 3 minutes to speak. If you don't want to do it now, you can do it at the end of the meeting. There's two open comments periods. So. Okay, moving right along. New issues, petition to vacation of alleyways. Mr. Bonomo, I believe, is here.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm DJ Bonomo on behalf of Melissa Hilterman, who's also here. We Sent a petition to vacate 2 alleyways in Johanna Miller's first edition to West Clinton Junction. It's out at basically Highway 71 and 1300 South. I've got my 3rd grade art drawings to kind of show you what it is. It would be the 2 yellow areas that are, I know, difficult to see. And the greater area within the black is all owned by Mrs. Hilterman or Mrs. Hilterman's trust. So the alleyways are completely encompassed by her property. We did, though, notify Midwest Coal Reserves of Indiana, who lies to the west of her property, and as well as Sisson Farms and Dominic Sparks, who were both on the other side of 1300 South. Once you get on the other side of 71, it's actually Hilterman again. So everyone, I believe, was notified, and that was put in the paper. And I don't know if I did send that to Brenda yesterday to show that. So we were just asking these alleyways, which essentially are unused and don't serve anything, they're unimproved, to be vacated.
This shows up as a subdivision, and
Mhm.
it shows it to be a larger parcel, some of which is, anyway, other parcels in here as well. What is the intent for the area that is across 1300 South, below the alleyways? Is that already subdivided, or?
It is subdivided. There are some lots here. If you get into how the alleyways go around, is that what you're speaking of? Those are separate lots.
South of the alleyway.
South of the alleyways, the outlot, which would
The
be
larger.
outlot number 1. I'm sorry. This is an actual copy of the plat. You mean outlot
Yeah,
number 1?
that large parcel there.
A portion of it's going to be sold off to another individual who's actually going to maintain a residence there. Mrs. Hilterman does not live there at the current time.
Is that part of that subdivision plan, was to have that large lot there? Or had it been subdivided before in smaller
This is
parcels?
just from the original plat. I don't think it's been subdivided at all at this point. But the plan eventually may be to subdivide off part of it. But at this point, we're just trying to vacate the alleys.
Have those lots been sold along 1300 South?
No. No, not at
there-
the current moment.
One of the issues I have is these lots are so small that
Right.
they're a tenth, 1.17, whatever it is
Right.
anyway.
And
But they can't support I have my doubts whether they can support a septic system in here on that small of lots.
what do you have currently there, Melissa?
We have a septic system up by the house, but what is actually where those lots are just the foundations of what's left over from the railroad from the 30s. And then there's a cabin that sits out there as well.
So these were actually subdivided back in the days of the railroad. When
Right.
the railroad was present then.
Right,
Correct.
those 2 separate areas, yes.
Is there instead of just vacating these alleys, is there a reason not to vacate these lots or to combine them into a single lot? My issue is that you can still sell these. And
Right.
we've got a problem up until the time that there's a regional sewer or something put into this area. We're going to have a problem with these supporting if they ever get sold as individual lots.
Well, I would assume that if they're sold, a part of outlot number 1 would be sold as well. So we'd have quite a bit of land and have to do some type of subdivision. But
I'd like
this-
to
Go ahead.
see you do a little more planning on how this is to come together as opposed to just piecemealing this together as an alley and whatever. This is a subdivision. Subdivisions are supposed to be planned. Of course, the sequence of planning has changed over the years, of course, and identify with that. But this looks like a mess or something waiting to happen that's shouldn't happen. Not the alleyways necessarily, but the whole northern section of this subdivision.
No, this part is the farm here, and then about half of that is
It's
the
not a
front of the
reflection
house.
of what is
Right, right,
what should happen here necessarily,
right.
or probably even what you're wanting to have happen in the future or
Right.
whenever.
Right. I think there's an eventual plan to split that outlot number 1, and of course the lots to the northeast would go with the eastern part, and the lots to the northwest would go with the western part.
Is
But
there-
we're not quite to that point yet.
What's the impetus to vacate the alleys at this point, though?
Actually,
For roadways.
in talking with the auditor, you might be able to, you
Yes.
had the conversation with them.
The auditor said that in order for us to have, I had it surveyed, so we could decide exactly what part of the house and the barn was separated from the farmland.
The auditor or the assessor?
Both. I've talked to both.
Okay.
And they said that we needed to vacate the alleyways in order to have the new survey take effect.
Well, and these alleys aren't being utilized
No.
either. I mean,
Mm-mm.
there's a lot in the county.
No, there's no traffic on them.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of
Yeah, what's
the common owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just speaking on myself here. I don't have any issues approving something like this. I know Britton may have some discussions, but I don't have any issues approving a vacation of these today.
I don't like this is going to get piecemealed together. What's the issue with the alleys at this point, though? I didn't hear really an explanation for the alleys being an issue. Because of what?
So she got a survey done. In order to split combine, what it's called, there's alleyways that need vacated before she can split to combine those pieces of property. So on the survey, the way it's set up is, instead of being outlots, it's all one big piece of parcel. So it's going to be a big square instead of small square with all those little lots, and then the vacated alleys, the way they surveyed it. So in order to do the split combine, those alleyways have to come out in order for them to be combined to split. It's hard to explain without showing it to you.
Well, it'd been nice somebody show it to us before a meeting, anyway. Is there a reason that this can't all be done in one fell swoop instead of piecemealing this together as vacating alleys? Then, or do we have to take set steps to do this in order to happen?
Once you vacate those, once the alleyway gets vacated, then we can combine, we can split, we can combine to split it back out to make it a different parcel.
Well, it doesn't really work that way because of you got alleys here. Now each one of those parcels will have a part of that alley. It goes halfway down, so each parcel will have half of or except on maybe the east side, each one of those parcels is going to have part of that. Actually, the ownership adjacent to it gets half of it, even if that is actually to the west, which is the Midwest Coal or Midwest, whatever it's called. When you divide that up, half of that goes to the adjacent property, and half of it goes to the other adjacent property.
Right. Now, in this case, I think we encompass all of it, even on the side with Midwest Coal.
I don't have my glasses right now, but
It gets close to the point, once you get to 1300 South, that up into till that point, I mean, you're getting
that's assuming that
very
that's
close to the road.
Yeah.
There's no responsibility to make any public comment or ask for any, because these are all encompassed within, the property owner owns all of it, right?
Right, that's our position, is that the property owner, I understand though what Mr. Britton's saying is,
That means each
Or
one of these
Mr.
parcels are now going to have to be reallocated all the way across. It seems like this would be a better thing to just do it in one fell swoop if you're going to redo the subdivision portion of this, as opposed to doing this. Now you're going to have to write descriptions for each parcel and have it rewritten. You're talking a lot of work here, right? Am I missing something?
personally, I don't think the description would be that hard to write. I mean, most of it is gonna be in the Hilterman Trust.
Are you the trustee? Or
I
who's the-
am.
okay.
Yes. There is a portion that would be her individually, but I don't know that in writing the description, I'm not of the opinion that you'd have to write, you know, lot 10 now is so many more feet. I think you can just have vacated alley to, you know, Hilterman Trust, vacated alley to Hilterman. I think in some respects, and I don't know how the auditor would handle it, it would probably be its own parcel at the moment.
Well, the auditor really didn't have much to do with this, it's the assessor.
Well, or the assessor. I think to some degree they'd be their own parcels. Yeah, there would be a split down the middle of the alley, at least
But you'd have
on
to
one
rewrite
side.
this,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna come back at a later date and wanna change it all again, right?
Potentially. Potentially, it's not decided. Right now, we're just trying to vacate the alleys.
Okay. I guess I'm not in favor of doing this when we don't.
Do you need more
when it's gonna
research?
change
Do you need-
again.
Do you need more time to look at it, Britton? Is that what you're saying?
No, I've looked at it, and I understand what they're saying, I just don't think this is the proper way of going about. We're gonna vacate an alley, public right of way, this is owned by the county, this is not owned by the trust or the people running the properties, but yet we don't know what the overall plan is. And so until we know what the overall plan is, I don't think we should be vacating alleys or right of ways. It just until, and actually I think in my mind, area planning ought to be looking at this also and then giving us a recommendation. That's not the way it's written, but that's still an opinion. I just think we ought to have what the game plan is here as opposed to vacating alleys and then coming back and doing something different, and I just don't agree with that.
I mean, if there was a process that you'd recommend, I think you ought to work on drawing up some type of
Well,
process for this.
statute overrides, maybe, I'll have to talk to John about it, but statute overrides on the vacation of alleys, I think, as to how you go about that process. My issue is I think that's part of the rule or part of the statute, but on the other hand, this was approved by an area plan or by somebody anyway in the county, and now we want to change it, but yet we don't, and it's going to change again at some near point in the future. And I don't believe that enough thought has been put into this. This has been standing for 20, 40, 50, 60, 100 years, maybe.
100.
What's your response to that? I mean, what do you see as far as future development? How could this affect any future development or anything in there by closing this?
I don't think it will affect any future development. I think that the plan is to keep it basically one
piece?
Well, two pieces probably, each owned by one party. Or I'm sorry, one party each piece, so two parties total. I don't think it will really affect future development. And honestly, I don't even know if they're really county right-of-ways. I mean, they're platted alleys, but that doesn't make them public alleys.
If they're not public, then why are you here?
Well, you are allowed to vacate platted alleys, but, I mean, why am I here in part?
No,
Because when we
that's a
went
rhetorical
to-
question.
No, when we went to, okay, when we went to potentially deed a part of this off with our survey, the assessor and auditor told us we needed to vacate these.
Yeah, and it's because it's
And
a
I mean,
public
and that's
right-of-way.
fine, that's fine, but they aren't used, and they are, you know, of no real use to the
Yeah.
county.
Well, I think they've, they filled out all the documentations they need to, and I think the board either needs to act one way or the other and tell them, yes, we'll vacate, or no, we won't. I mean, in my 4 years, or 3.5 years here, we vacated multiple alleys over the years, and everyone's got their reasoning for doing so. And the other thought is the county will get a little bit more tax revenue on this because it is going back on the tax rolls as well. So, and again, I'm still in favor of approving this today, if we can.
Where's that? I don't see what's going to I mean, there's no future development there, nothing big, industrial or anything, I think that would be,
No,
that would impede this or create a problem.
no, most of it is agriculture.
And I think, going back to what Britton's always got good comments. Britton is more of someone who knows more about this than RJ and I even have any idea, but I appreciate his comments, and if there's something that in the future I think that Britt could come up with that would help this level of more clarity, I would appreciate it. But I have no problem with it. You got a second on it? Got a motion?
Yeah, Brendan, is there a certain way it needs motion or just the petition? I'll make a motion to approve the petition for vacation of alleyways by Melissa Hillerman and DJ Bonomo, attorney, as presented this morning.
I'll second that. All in favor for discussion?
I don't have any more discussions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm
Opposed?
opposed. Aye, I'm opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clark Dietz. Here, you got your glasses, Brett.
It is a little harder.
Someone said they put my glasses in my coat, but they're not. No? I'm not sitting on them. We'll be okay.
Give me a minute, I'll get to it.
The next, I think it's the 15th, at Brazil. I'll get the date. I don't have the date right, probably. But anyway, the announcement of community crossing grant. They're going to be coming out with a list of approvals of who was on the community crossing grant. Again, this year we applied for $2 million for a community crossing grant, so we should know here shortly, right? About that.
Okay, I'm ready for that. Ready to make a motion to approve the Clark Dietz Task Order 7 to administer the construction or the community crossing grant with the highway for a project price not to exceed $30,000. This includes the bid and construction.
So Clark Dietz oversees the community crossing grant program that's paving and.
Well, it's whatever's in that program,
Okay.
yes.
I'll second the motion.
It's buried as to what the construction is.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? I think it's a very good insurance, what we do, and the $2 million project is spending $30,000 of having someone overlook it to see that the quality of the mix is there and the temperatures and the construction's right, I think is a good investment. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Do you need the glasses back? We didn't get something on this, did we? On the Centerline Miles, did they send something? Did we get that? I don't remember seeing it.
She's still trying to find the survey number.
There's something in our packet for it. I don't know if it was in the,
It is in our packet?
yeah,
I didn't see it in our,
task order number 8.
I've not reviewed it. What is the dollar value for that?
25,000.
Can everybody hear us okay?
25,000?
You can't let us know.
I can't make a recommendation on that, I don't know.
We have a finder's fee here in a little bit to find my glasses.
Yeah, this is the first I'm seeing it. I don't know that. The
What
numbers.
it is, whether the value is good or bad or indifferent, is the county has
Looks like
a
it's
correction to
discrepancy.
make to our Centerline Miles. During the asset management plan development, it came out that we have a large discrepancy between the Centerline Miles of what were reported to the state and recognized by the state. Now we're wanting to go back and take those centerline miles and put them in a format so that the state will approve our new mileage, which is significantly more than what we had before. We went from 491 to 540 something. Or something.
390 to 550 is what they wrote in here.
Okay. With that though, the state has changed their rules on how they'll recognize those miles. You have to show where your miles were initially, how they were platted, or what those miles are, centerline miles, and then you have to show what the difference is. In other words, the new miles that you're accounting for. And I can't say Clark Dietz represents that it is a significant effort to be able to go back and look at those old miles, and I don't know to what extent we have those documented. And that may be the issue here, is that we don't have good documentation. We're going to have to piece it back together on our old miles versus the new miles. The new miles shouldn't be a problem, but the old miles may be. I haven't talked to him about that.
Yeah, I'd like to table it because I haven't either, and I'd like to find out a little bit more about that price and what it all encompasses for $25,000, or what they're going to do to update that 160 miles.
The other thing that we could do is, if you want to talk with them, assign you the duty to talk with them and say whether up to 25,000 miles or whatever to get this started. That's the other thing we could do, or we can table it till next meeting.
I'd personally like to table it till next meeting if you guys, I'd like to do a little more research on it.
I don't think it's going to, I don't know if there's a deadline that we have to meet that's looming anyway.
Yeah. And that's saying there's a discrepancy, 116 miles worth of county roads that the state's not recognizing.
We gave it, yes, but we did it.
I understand that there's yeah.
It's not the state, we just had not the correct miles necessarily. How long, I don't know, but we just don't have the correct miles that the state recognized.
Okay.
You have a significant difference in our, I mean, this is centerline miles take about 80% of our funding that we get from the state for highway.
That's a big difference.
So it makes it's going to raise eyebrows at the state when they get it. They're not going to take it, and so it does need to be well
I'd like to
documented.
even see the map. I haven't seen the map of the difference of where this 160 miles is not being recognized.
Well, that's what they have to put together, because they'll have to go back and look. What they did is we got the centerline miles now. We just know that they're not what was reported to the state.
Yeah.
So that may be the issue.
Could
going
be,
back and trying to find
yeah.
those 391 miles. If there is actually documentation sitting somewhere that shows where all those miles are accounted for. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So what's it, maybe I missed it, what's the status of this now? We found this, so we're submitting it to the state, and the state will have so long to review it, but we haven't got enough documentation.
We have to certify the miles to the state, and the state requires showing the previous miles to the current, what you're representing to be your centerline miles now. So the effort is probably not in the centerline miles now. The effort's in putting together the 309, whatever it is, 90 some odd miles in the past, and being able to certify that's what the county actually had submitted to the state previously. I don't know if it's that big of effort. I would hope the state would already have a map, but things graduate as time goes by, plus the state funding has changed from time to time too. So,
and who do you recommend it will take care of that, getting that together to answer them questions?
Clark Dietz.
Okay.
It's not a question. We need to do this. It'll pay for itself. But the thing is, it's just I don't know that's worth $25,000.
Yeah, I don't know that it's worth 29. Yeah, I don't know that it's worth.
You don't know what?
I don't know if it's worth $25,000. I don't know what the effort is.
For Clark Dietz to get this certified, so.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to do it. It's just whether the $25,000 is a right number or not. So.
Yeah,
I think the revenue alone, you'll find out, is quite considerable more than
it is
$25,000.
You'll probably pay for itself in the first round.
But I would just like to at least, clarify that number, because if another agency can do it for $15,000, do the exact same thing. I mean, I don't know. I just want to see that number. And then someone came up with 550 miles, because when we apply for community crossing grants, we have to submit a number of mile roads. So if we've been submitting 390 for 4 years, I'm asking who in the county says we have 550. Was this a Clark Dietz thing?
It's from the asset management plan.
When was that?
They measure.
That's what Britain's been
It's
working
Thrive,
on.
and Clark Dietz has been confirming. so, yeah.
Well, that's what I guess it's just hard for me because I haven't seen that whole plan yet, is where this
That's-
160, well, I haven't reviewed it yet. That email that you sent, because for the longest time, it just hasn't been accessible to us, because Thrive and even Clark Dietz sent it and said, give us an email and we'll give you access to it. I just find it hard. There's 160 miles that we haven't been accounting for over the years. It's just a hard discrepancy to understand.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
One of the things when I was working on the ambulance, looking at trying to get the county cost on what it might be, I was looking at the miles that Vermilion County has compared to Park, Warren, and Beagle, actually. And I thought, wow, we have a significant number of less miles than any of these other counties. Almost, it's not half, but it's 60% of the miles that every other county has. I thought it was odd that we would have so few
Yeah.
miles and that significant number. So I guess it doesn't surprise me that this gets us more up in line. We're still less than the other counties.
Well, it
even
helps
at
with
this
funding
number.
too. I mean, it really does. If we do have 550 miles of roads, we've been doing it with money for just 390.
And who knows, it may have been 390 miles at one time, and now and they may have not have counted gravel miles. Who knows
Yeah, what
happened
for
to
sure.
gravel roads.
Finally, is the question, do we approve the funding for them to do it? Is that one of the questions?
Not really the funding, but just the amount. I don't know if it's a $10,000 effort, $25,000 effort, or.
I'd like to find out what it's going to take, like Britton says, to do this. I don't know what that. I mean, I see a little description here, but it's very small. So I don't know if this is a 3-month project. Is it a 1-month project? I don't
If
know.
it's up to 25,000, I guess we can approve that. But is it not to exceed?
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think.
That's all
It's
right.
not to exceed 25,000. It did have a schedule in there too, is finalize inventory as part of the asset by May 24th of this year and submit updated to the state by August 30th of 24.
There is a date that we need to have this submitted, or we're out another year.
Yeah.
And the state's not going to recognize this immediately. It's still going to take like a year or 2 years before the state will recognize it as a certified miles.
That will increase some funding from the state, won't it? Significantly.
Significant, yeah.
What you're trying to recommend, Britton? I would
We can go ahead and
agree with
if
one of you.
it's-
You're the one that's been working on this project. You're the one that did it. I respect your decision. So whatever you want to do.
If it's up to not to exceed, then I think we're all right with that. Clark Dietz has been pretty good at keeping
It's not to
their
exceed.
hours. I thought it was just
So
25,000.
you're making a.
I can make a motion that we
Go ahead and
approve
do
it
what
for
you wanna do.
25, up to 25,000. I still like to know what the effort
Yeah,
is, but
that's fine. You can ask for that, right?
yeah, I will.
That satisfy you getting that information too, right, OJ?
I probably won't vote to approve it today because I still would like to. I mean, this is the first time seeing it today, so I'll probably vote no.
Well, we'll
agree.
wait then. If I don't
I mean,
know,
I would just
they'll
like
put
to
us out
talk to
another 2 weeks.
I mean, I would like to talk to Patrick or whoever. I think it's Patrick Delp.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's
So
fine.
if that's okay, I'd like to wait at least or at least till next meeting, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
Okay. Put
Make
that
some
table
calls today.
back on the agenda for next. A lot of people don't realize how much work Britton puts into all the stuff he does. I will say he was not running for office again. I will say that he's been a tremendous asset to this county. He's brought professional advice to this county to save our county millions of dollars. When he first became elected, he asked if I wanted to give him the jail project. The jail project is the biggest project ever done in this county, of $25 and $26 million. And he overseen that jail project, and that jail project came in within budget and on time. And there's no way that any of us here could have handled that large of a project. And having engineers dealing with engineers, Britton is a PE, he's had experience in larger projects in the jail. And I just want to say publicly, we as a community and we as a county do not realize the impact that Britton Luther has had on this county and saving us literally millions of dollars. So I just want to say publicly, I appreciate his commitment and I respect his professional opinion and all the stuff he's done for the county. So that'll be on the table for the next. Okay, solid waste, Eric Scheider. He's here. He was hiding back there.
Is there any meetings too soon? Solid
What?
waste.
No, I don't think so.
Showed up on my calendar for some reason.
No, there's no meeting tonight for solid waste, is there?
No.
No.
24th.
My calendar's.
Soil and Water has a meeting tonight.
Yeah, soil and water.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So I just took it
Depends
as.
on which hat I'm supposed to wear, Britton, that's all.
You're gonna have to start spelling that out. The SW Soil and Water Solid Waste.
They are both SWs, yes. So I'm gonna start with solid waste and some updates and stuff, and then I'm gonna go into a soil and water little update too,
Yeah,
so.
Make sure you're clear about that.
I will. So, first with solid waste, just want to remind everybody, we do have countywide cleanup coming up the 19th and 20th. So, and everything is good to go. With that, the Cayuga garage is going to be serviced by Big Mac and Walden Enterprises. They're going to be providing the dumpsters and everything. And then Walden Enterprises is also going to be providing the A-frame recycling containers at both the Cayuga and Clinton locations for us. So there will be recycling available, as there always has been. Landfill Incorporated and JBL are taking care of Clinton to make sure that we have enough dumpsters and dumping for those. So we're good to go on.
You said JBL, what was that?
Yes, they run out of Terre Haute, I think. JP Kenizer is working with them. I think that's the name. I may have it wrong. So we're good to go there. May 11th is Tire Recycling Day. All of these things are up on the county website under solid waste. Also on the website, we do have a description of things you can and should not bring to countywide cleanup, and also things that can and cannot be recycled. So all of that information is up on the website and is there for folks to view prior to both of those events. Second thing I have is for solid waste, we would like to purchase a laptop through EAS to load our QuickBooks online so that we can be more efficient in our solid waste accounting, and also do a better job in providing mandated reports to the State Board of Accounts on a monthly basis. Right now, QuickBooks, it is a software that SBOA approves. However, like most things, they're only going with an online version at this point. So we're requesting getting a, doesn't have to be a massive memory laptop for solid waste, just enough for us to have so our controller can process those reports and do our financials a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more cleaner than what we're doing them now. And again, it also will help suffice the reporting, the monthly reporting that needs to be done with State Board of Accounts. Solid Waste Board is on board with this, and we just needed to come to you today to get that, get your blessing if you so choose.
This computer is going to be, if you're going to be doing, are you requesting a computer? So
Yes.
This computer is going to be made available here soon. If you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I have no objection.
We have another.
How soon is soon?
Well, can I use it when you're not using it?
You'll have to talk to Hope about that. I will
Is
let
Hope
you and
the
Hope
one?
duke that one out.
Okay, she's the treasurer, is she?
She is, yes. She's our controller, so she will be the one that will have.
Can we not have that on the county, on our auditor's computer system? Do we really need a separate computer for that? Question, the auditor, I don't know.
Brenda, I'll let you answer that question since Hope works for you.
I don't have an issue with it as of right now, but.
Why don't we do that, to work it, get it on there? I don't know that we have, a meeting every few months?
Quarterly, at least four,
Quarterly?
I think. At least 4.
I don't know,
I think
it's
we
worth.
have six
this year.
scheduled, but we have to do monthly reporting to SBOA.
Yeah, right.
And so this will help with those reports and just easier upload.
Yeah, if your office computer wouldn't mind, it would save the county some.
Well, it's already connected to SBOA. Are you not using the same
Right, yes.
platform to go into the SBOA to report? or not? Or is it standalone?
It's a standalone, yeah.
Standalone.
With SBOA, you just upload, like for what we do, Soil Water does the same thing, we have to report monthly. We just upload PDFs of our reports that are generated through QuickBooks. It's just more time efficient, and it's better on,
And then I
Why
do
don't we
have to
just-
sign off on it, yeah.
yes.
Why don't we just do that? She's sitting in there on the same computer anyway, system. And it's backed up at that point too, as opposed to standalone if you lose your computer.
Well, this computer would be on the county
Network.
system, and it would be, I mean, yeah, it would be a county-owned,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, it'd be on the same system, but.
I'd rather do, if that works, and then they can have this one in 9 months. Or if they have to have it earlier, I'll give it up and I'll use I got another portable I can use.
I'm fine with that. If you're fine with that, and
Yeah,
the
it works.
commissioners are
Well,
fine with that,
It's a $3,500 investment, right?
oh, I wouldn't think it would be.
Well, by the time you get done with the EAS, putting it on network, it's at least that.
Well, there you go.
I was gonna buy me a laptop, but it costs that much, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but you gotta, there's
Yeah,
more
I mean,
to
software
buying
Yeah.
to put on it, it adds up to
It's
more than the cost
just a
of it.
computer.
But yeah,
Thanks.
that's fine. If all parties are okay with that, I'm okay with that, so.
Okay.
That's all I've got for
No,
solid
you
waste.
didn't.
Any questions for solid waste that you guys have?
I would say that years ago, started a program to roadside cleanup, and next year I would like to get more involved in that, of getting the community involved, and it was a tremendous success when we did it, and get a place where they adopt the roads and sign roads, you know what I mean, and that ownership, I think will really help a lot, getting people involved in it, and I'd like to start looking back that way, maybe next year in the future for doing that.
Any thoughts on recycling yet, other than the 1 or 2 times a year?
We've been discussing that at our solid waste meetings on what our options are. I'm still investigating, whether we want to do county operated services or if we want to figure out a way to contract those services. There are lots of solid waste management districts throughout the state that actually contract those services out to where you have a private entity who places the containers, and therefore they're responsible for those containers, and the county will just pay for that service for residents. So we're exploring those options. Also with that is going to be exploring funding mechanisms to make that happen, because currently at our current allotted budget, we have just enough money to put on the 2 cleanup days and the tire recycling day. So there's going to have to be some sort of fund generation, and we are hopefully going to be putting out a survey to residents to see, just to gauge their interest in different funding mechanisms that we might approach.
Are you considering something for the budget for the 2025?
That is our hope.
Okay, good.
Well, one of the questions I have, recycling, there's been a lot of people wanting to do it for years here, and I feel like I haven't pushed it hard enough myself. But one of the things that, I have a question for John, that usually the way they do it, they put a tax on.
Correct.
Create a tax to create that. Would that be something you could put on on the ballot where the people could decide, or is that it's not?
We already
that
checked
level?
into that.
We've already talked to the clerk's office on that, and also Scott Craig.
And John Spur.
Yeah. We've explored that option, and that is not the
Only
correct
for school
avenue
boards
for
or
a
something?
referendum.
Okay.
There are certain things that you can put on a referendum, and that is not one of them. If they go to initiating a tax, as you have mentioned, that would be a decision for the county council to implement that.
Okay.
So, and again, that's one of the funding mechanisms we are looking at. That is an option. Not saying that's the way we're going to go, but that is certainly one of the options that we have. If we want to make recycling widely available countywide.
One of the other things that I'd like to see done is, we, as a county, we're starting to get more proactive, that we're thinking ahead, and we have things planned, and so they can develop when we need them to. And I would like to see that we end up having a recycling center designed, not big, but something we can have designed, have it sitting on a shelf, and then when the possibility comes later, you pull that back out.
Mhm.
When funding, a lot of times funding comes available, and then everybody's running to get a project. And we need to be forward thinking about having projects designed sitting on the shelf, and then when funding comes along and they say, hey, we got X to get rid of, we could actually access some of that. So I'd like to have a recommendation or bring it up at your solid waste meeting,
Mhm.
and people vote that's something they would like to see.
And that's been discussed. We haven't, the board hasn't taken any official action on that, but that has been discussed at the solid waste meetings as well, is to have at least something like that. But it's going to come down to how do we want to service the county, what's going to make the most sense, because we're so long, and spread out. A centralized recycling center may not be the best option for us. We just have to investigate those things and see what's going to make the best sense for the county.
Okay.
So.
One of the other things I'd like for solid waste to consider is a woody vegetation incinerator, as opposed to we don't have anything per se.
Making a note here. Okay.
Scott and I talked to BLGF about that word tax, so they're looking into the process of how that has to work and all stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Any other thoughts, questions for solid waste?
Run.
Okay. Huh? I know. Put on the next set. Soil and water. Couple things that I want to bring up there. We have worked with the E911 director. We do have the address changed for the annex to designate suites A and B. The public defender will be suite A, and soil and water will be suite B at the annex. So the E911 director has plotted that out and made that designation. Basically, so that we can have deliveries made, and I have to provide with some of our federal identifications. I have to provide a physical address in order to do that. So he was very quick, very kind to get that designation done. So that is done for the annex. There's still some very good furniture over in the annex and filing cabinets. If anybody needs anything that needs to be vacated out of there by the 17th, so just put a plug in there if anybody needs some nice desks or filing cabinets or a safe, not the big safe, little safe. There's stuff in there to be had. There is a Soil and Water Conservation District meeting tonight, and we are going to tour the annex with the Board of Supervisors so that they can see the building. They have yet to see the building. And also, I want to take a minute to thank Terry and Michelle and Danny for all the work that they've put in cleaning up the building after the construction was all done. They have been fantastic to work with so far. Very helpful if anything that we need, and I know they've been doing a lot of work for the Public Defender's Office too. So I just wanted to thank them for all the hard work that they're doing as they're transitioning into having another building and another space to take care of as well. So that's all I have for soil and water. If you guys have any questions for soil and water.
Not yet.
Okay, very good.
April 17th. When is your open house? Is it going to be? Or do you
It'll
have
be
it?
April 27th, the
The
day of the ribbon
27th
cutting.
of Bicentennial.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to do that all the same day. So
Sure.
we've got a lot of work ahead of us to get prepared for the 27th, but we'll be there. It'll be done.
Don't leave, just stand there for a while. The results that I have, where's that anyway? On the renovation of the building next door, that had been a question. I got it right here anyway, but what the final cost is, we bought that building for $103.
Something like that.
And then when we had a renovation come back, the engineer estimate was like $500,000 to renovate the building next door. A lot of people thought that we was making a bad investment, but through proper management and help with the county, the final cost so far has come in right at around $200,000 to renovate that building. So we, as a county, have done very, very well. And I think it's a very, very good investment for our county.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to make that a public statement that.
Thank you to Tim and John Graves for
Yeah.
heading that up.
And the county helped. We did a lot of stuff internally. I mean, a lot of times you get an estimate, and I know we as commissioner work to try to cut that cost, and to have right around $300,000 in that building and have it completely renovated is a very positive thing. And have access right next to here is really, really a good deal. With that being said, we need to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do locally with the Board of Health and Soil and Water with the Get the Lead Out program.
As soon as we finalize those plans, we will make that,
Good.
we will do that. So as of right now, as it stands, Soil and Water is still going to do their normal yearly water testing, so that'll be done at fair. Water test kits, as usual, will be available June 1st, and will be available up through the county fair. And so residents who are on a private well can have their water tested for bacteria, nitrates, and then metals, and the metals consist of arsenic, copper, and lead, free of charge. And that is a program that we work through the Indiana State Department of Health with, and they are very gracious in allowing us to do that for free for one time a year for our county residents. There is a program, as Tim alluded to, with the county health department. We have not finalized all those plans yet, but it looks like we are going to be doing some additional water testing, not only for folks that are on a private well, but also for folks that are on municipal water. The folks that are on municipal water, we will be looking for metals only, specifically targeting lead. But more information will come out about that as soon as we get all of those details finalized.
Because we will be approaching a letter from the commissioners of support for this project. And for funding to the county to do it. I think that it's very important to get the lead out. Is that what we're saying it is? Correct?
Yes.
And there's a lot of issues, I think, that especially in monitoring of wells, and not only wells but also city water. A lot of these older homes that are predated the 50s or whatever, they still have lead and copper lines in those houses. And I know, as far as professional water management of over 25 years of managing water utilities, the percentage of the monitoring is so small. And we had 850 customers, and there was 20 houses monitored. And so the limited testing that is going on is not covering the large amount of the issues. And so we're looking at, as a county, at the health department with soil and water, to up that and make it so there's more testing done. And I think it's a great program. I mean, if you look at the lives of a youth, and this stuff affects the lives of young people, why not invest money into that? And so, more news later, right?
Yes.
But it's a good
program.
program.
Lead is a big conversation in the health department world right now. They have a lot of programs that are looking at, lead in the homes, and this is one way that we can help pinpoint, one potential source of lead in a home. So, yeah, we're excited to work with the county on that.
Finishing it. The sign out here needs to be revamped, and we'd like to know the recommendations of what you all want on that sign. Is okay? And then for the location, the sign don't say A and B, so okay to get that fixed.
Yeah, I have no
I don't know
objection.
if we want to change the sign or make an addition to it.
That's the question.
Whatever the recommendation.
Yeah, could you add something to the bottom of it or something that says Suite A, Suite B, or?
I'd have to look at it and see.
They don't have
Replace it
anything.
with replace it with a digital. That'd be great.
Thank you for doing that.
Thanks for the funding.
Soil and water.
Oh,
Thanks for the funding.
no, I said you could replace it.
Oh, okay. Changes real quick. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Very, very,
Thank you,
very
guys.
good. Open issues, second reading of amended sewage ordinance system.
Met with Dr. Mark. Friday I had to cancel, but we met yesterday, and there's a lot of we're looking at a lot of revisions there. So she's agreed to.
So it's ongoing.
I'll table it for today, and we'll hopefully by next meeting we'll have.
You think it'll be
that
resolved
complete.
next meeting?
Depend on how the rest of the
Okay.
stuff goes.
If you get some recommendations, did you already send out your recommendations, or did I?
On what?
The recommendations of changes. Did you send that out, or did
I don't know if I send anybody, we had the meeting, guys, it was open for everybody to come to, we discussed them. I can send out
Yeah,
what I
if
have.
you could send it out, I'd like to see that. Next we have letter from county historian requesting a letter of support. George Sanquinetti. Come on up here, you're putting you on the spot, George. Appreciate everything George is doing for the county. I think it's great that having people serve in a capacity that they have a passion for what they do. And George has been working on historical things around here. He is an author. The Verlet's Trading Post book.
Published author.
We did a project in Shepherdsville. Verlet's Trading Post was a big success, backed by Vincent's Historical Society. It's in Shepherdsville now, and all the research that George did is now a book that's published in the local library.
Well, it's just, when we did that, we just kind of started off with Richard Day's work that he had done. He's Vincent's historian, and he had written an article in conjunction with the old French house, which was the home of the younger Michelle Verlet. And then I did some additional research, and internet has really been helpful. I mean, they've digitized so much stuff anymore. If you know where to go, you get additional information. But we put it on a Facebook page to kind of keep people informed, and we decided after we got all that together, maybe we need to put something together to kind of preserve it and make it available. So that's where that came about.
The other project working on is the Chung Ford Cemetery.
Yeah,
and we have
Mike and Connie's here. They're part of our small group. Actually, it all started, I lose track of time. One of the gathering at the crossing events, conversation had been on the Piankashaw Village. It was here along the Vermilion River in Cayuga. Sean had wanted to get a historical marker, and we talked last summer at the fair when we had the Harrison Crossing marker set up for display, and I thought, well, later on let's get together and see if we can do something. So it's been Sean Floyd and Mike and Connie, and we got together on that. And Cheryl Hargrave, she had researched Major John Chun, who was one of the last commanders of Fort Harrison in Terre Haute and founder of Universal, which originally was known as Chun's Ford. And so we're trying to get historical markers on those two items. Right now we're waiting for the application for this year from the Indiana Historical Bureau. I looked at the website yesterday. They've updated their information page, but if you go to the link to download the application, they still have last year's application, so it should be out any time. Jill Wish Simmons, who's the staff historian there at the Historical Bureau, she's waiting for the application because she had done the research on the primary history sources that's needed, because they want primary sources. We have basically secondary sources, which is publications or articles that have been published after the fact down the road. You run into contradictions and errors in secondary sources, so they want primary sources. When she gets the application, she's going to fill in her section on her research, forward it to us, and then we finish it out. And one of the things that we need, like I said in the letter, they want a letter of support from donors to go in with the application. So there's a lot of material that, in addition to that we have to send in. So that's what we're waiting on right now. I'm just trying to follow up on this. We're just basically picking up loose ends to try to get ready. The deadline for the application to be turned in that I saw on the page yesterday is July 18th, but I'd like to have the application sent in next month. That will give us time that if there's any adjustments that need to be made, we'll have time before the July deadline.
The request was for how much?
Well, I've got the material that was turned in at February meeting, I think it was. The marker itself, there's no change in the price.
$3,300, wasn't it?
$3,300 for the marker. So that would be for the Chun marker and.
No, it couldn't be for both of them, for $3,300.
Well, that's, each one of those is $3,300, so. If I can find that, yeah.
What we need is an amount of request, and then we will.
Well, I've got that, if
Okay,
you want me to
yeah.
reprint that from the February Commissioners meeting.
Because you need it by a certain date, right? You need X funding, you need a letter of support that
The
would be
letter,
funded.
I'd like to have it by next month anyway.
Okay.
So that we can get everything finalized, fill out the application, and then Sean Floyd said he could deliver it to the Indiana Historical Bureau because he works in Indianapolis, not far from where they're located. So he can deliver both applications because they're separate applications with, the material, but it's all the same deadlines.
We could probably do that letter of support pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah, that's what, they're looking at a deadline
Yeah,
for
we could
this
do that, I
marker,
mean-
and we want to let you know. Of course, it would still have to go to the council for approval,
Yeah.
but I'll go.
For the letter of support,
Yeah,
you
because
can give
I
without
don't know the
council.
steps you have to go through. That's why.
We just need a request for X amount of dollars for X project, and let us handle that.
Well, I can reprint what I've got
I
here.
think George, didn't you give it to us already, the cost?
Yeah, that was,
February
I've got a
12th?
copy of it here. I think it was the last meeting in February.
I think we've already got it, it's just
Yeah.
somewhere, I mean, I think it's somewhere.
Because it was broken down, the Cayuga marker, and then it was broken down for the Chun marker, and then to try to finish up the Chun Scott.
One of the things I want to talk about today is there's been a lot of talk over the years about the Chung Ford Cemetery. A lot of false accusations went on about some things out there, but Britt and I and George have worked on that for years. That is owned by the county, correct? It's been surveyed, pin surveyed. We've been working on that for several years. Just got all the wrought iron fencing. Looked for 3 years to try to write fencing for that cemetery. Found it in Indianapolis. Paid $600 for it. We took it down. I just had it sandblasted. It cost me $300 to get it sandblasted. Got the paint now purchased. I talked to Jones and Son. I got them talked into furnishing the concrete for the big pillars out front.
Mhm.
And then we got to get a bunch of people together to paint all the fencing before it goes up. And so it's a big project, and it's just getting ready to come together. I think it's going to be one of the nicest cemeteries there is when it's done, but that's an update. So hopefully, after this election gets over, it'll probably be a June-ish time. I'd like to get them pillars in and look at that fencing up and start finishing it up. As part of that money is going to, some of that's going to help cover some of the financial obligations on that too.
Well, the Chun Cemetery, that's where Major John Chun is buried with his family and other relatives and so forth. It had been neglected for many years. I mean, it was all overgrown and everything. Some of the stones had been broken and so forth, so.
It's all been with private funding, hasn't it?
What?
It's all private funding too, or
So far.
donations and whatever.
So far.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Major amounts of it.
Thanks to Duke and Tim making those applications for that too.
Yeah, I basically.
I'm just saying, I think we all in
Yeah.
agreement with, I mean, especially have someone now in the county that takes the job seriously and is doing such great work. We need to support them in anything they come forward with, I believe.
Yeah.
So we just need to know a date and a time and take that amount and take it to the council for approval, right?
Yeah, the innkeeper's tax, I'm not sure, it didn't probably accumulate to that amount of money, but actually that is would be a good use for that innkeeper's tax that's already accumulated, and that board could allocate those monies. I think Axel sits on that, and in fact that seems like a good use than what we've been using. I don't know what's been used in the past, but what I've seen in the past, it's not been. Anyway, I think this is a better use, or a good use anyway.
We already have an account for Chung's Ford Cemetery in our records now, right?
It's just for donations.
What?
Donate.
For donations. So if anybody wants to donate to Chung's Ford, it's already set up and we could use that.
Yeah.
I mean, You
Well,
want to set up a different account for the rest, or you just want to make it a, why
Yeah.
don't we just make it a Vermillion County or
Well, Vermillion
make that
County-
fund available? We started the fund there because I had donations coming in. Anytime I have a donation, any project I do, I rent to a third party. I mean, the community foundations help me on some projects, but we give the money to them and then allocate it back, and then they're overseeing the money. I don't have nothing to do with the
If
money.
the auditor's fine with that, so auditor's fine
It
with
just
that.
has to be, it'll have to be a separate account, you can't commingle the funds.
What do you mean?
If it's a donation, yes, but if it's a grant or something else, it has to be a different fund number.
Okay. But they can set it up for
They
regular.
can do it, yeah.
They can do it. so.
Well, the page, yeah. The post that I put on Facebook, there's several different pages I put it on, looking for members.
Yeah.
We've got about 5 people that said that they're interested so far. Had one individual that was wanting to make a donation. The thing is, we don't have officers in the group yet. If we get enough members, hopefully there'll be some that will volunteer for secretary, treasurer, president, and so forth. So we're really not set up to take donations.
Okay. Like I said, we all support this project. We'll look that up and put it on, should we put it on agenda for the next council meeting?
So you just need the letters of support
Yeah.
quickly, I mean, as soon
Yeah,
as we can.
We just need 2 copies, one for the Cayuga marker and one for the Chun marker in Universal.
Okay.
We may have 2 other ways. I'll talk to you later about
Yeah.
it. We may have 2 other ways that we can do this also.
Okay. Yeah, it would be under the Vermillion County Heritage Alliance. Sean Floyd come up with the name, and that's the name of our group now, the Vermillion County Heritage Alliance.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
We will get it.
Thank you.
Annex completion, it was 198,109. I think there's 2 more invoices. 198,109. There's still a couple invoices, I think, out in, correct? I don't think they're substantial ones, but we did well on that. The ambulance, what do you want to discuss today? Anything about the ambulance, or what do you want to make a statement, or what do you want to do here?
Got a meeting this afternoon to see where we stand with Ileana, and some of the issues with that. It's an ongoing process. We have started collecting information on the purchase of ambulances in 3 or 4 different ways. A cost analysis has been completed and forwarded to everybody as far as a county-owned ambulance service for review. Once you guys have a chance to look at that, make your comments.
What we have is we're going to be approaching the council about possible purchase of an ambulance.
Yeah.
And that needs to be done by the next meeting on the agenda for the next.
What I'd like to see us do is actually have another meeting. We have 3 ways in which we can look at ambulances. One is the purchase of Ileana's ambulances, and that has some other attributes to it. We can look at remounts. This is what we are looking at. Used ambulances, remounts on new chassis, and outright new ambulances. And I've got 2 new ambulances that are available to us now, but either a decision, the longer we take to make a decision, if we would want those anyway, the longer we take, the more chance those aren't going to be available. They're orphaned ambulances. In other words, they were ordered, and whoever was going to take receivership of them wasn't able to, for whatever reason. Brand new. Anyway, those are something that every day that we go by, somebody else may jump on that bandwagon. We're over 3 years out on any new ambulances, typically, minus finding an orphan one, and we just happened into there's actually 2, they're sisters, brothers, whatever. So anyway, those are the things, and we've got prices on all these. We need to sit down and discuss which direction we may want to go with this and make that determination, and the sooner the better.
What we need for the April 15th meeting is the next council meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
They moved it, it's on a Monday night, right? It's a week from.
It's next Monday.
Yeah. We need to be on the agenda for that, for possible purchase of an ambulance and possibly
Well, you're
real
gonna have
estate.
to do a 10-day notice.
We need another meeting before that, because there's a lot of moving parts right now. We need to come up with a total plan and have it in place for the April 15th commission.
I think I've gathered over the last year enough information now that we can sit down and make an informed decision as to
Yeah.
where we should go.
It's just the amount, you can't request the amount, can you, because of the 10-day notice?
Do what?
Even if the three of us come to the conclusion on the name deal and say it's $160,000, we can't request that because the 10-day notice.
We still need a 10-day
Yeah, but
notice.
we gotta be, when we take these things to the council, we gotta be specific in what we want and have it laid out what we want. And then they can reschedule a meeting and they can approve it within 10 days, I think it is, so.
Yeah,
And time is the essence of this.
Yes, it is. And if, again, these are available today, in the next hour, they may not be available if somebody puts their name in on them, so.
Well, we have to find them and give them a 30-day purchase.
And that's if
agreement.
we're even interested in new ones. So
Yeah, well,
that's not necessarily, I'll spell all this out. I think everything is together. I'll spell it out, and if we can meet on the ambulance alone, we can make an informed decision.
Well, I'm saying we need a meeting before the April 15th to finalize what we want, so we can put
Agree.
so whatever date you guys can work out, we need to schedule that. It's important.
Agree. You want to set that meeting now?
Yep, we need to.
What days are available, you said?
Friday's the only day, because today's Tuesday.
Well, or we can do John, we can do a continuation of this meeting into tomorrow, can we not? If we're getting into the nth hour here?
Do what?
Or we can continue this meeting into tomorrow, this meeting.
You would just amend the agenda and add something tomorrow.
We can continue this meeting into tomorrow.
I won't be here tomorrow.
Well, we still could.
You still could, yeah, you could. I have no problem.
Well,
But we
anyway,
got major decisions that we as commissioners need to come together.
if we don't continue this meeting, it's 48 hours out, so
So you're Friday at the minimum.
Wednesday's the first day.
Well,
I mean, I could be available by phone. Maybe. Or I can make my
Or we can do a
recommendations.
Teams meeting with you on it.
well, yeah.
There's information to be looked at, not just, I don't know, maybe,
Well, if we do a continuation to tomorrow, can you have it sent out today where Tim could review it before the meeting so he could tell us more?
I don't think we're to the decision of what we make that decision really on. There's still moving parts there, and we haven't came up with figures and stuff. I mean, right?
A lot of moving parts, gotta make sure what we're buying is actually what we need,
Yeah.
as far as being able to handle equipment. And then, have we received anything back on RFPs? Is there anybody interested?
that's another, we have one so far, but the 11th, actually, the RFP doesn't come back until whatever day, 25th. Everybody has till the 25th to submit something. I just asked for an indication if anybody was interested, so that if we were sitting here come the 25th and there was nobody interested, we would be having to go a different direction. I mean, that direction is no longer available to us. So I asked by the 11th that they give an indication whether they're interested or not. Today is the 9th. We've had one company that's interested in providing a proposal. They have asked questions. Those questions have been answered. So
what?
even after the 11th, somebody else may still submit. That was just a courtesy. The 11th is a courtesy call. It was just, again, I didn't want to sit here 25th and have nothing to show for it.
So how are we going to do this and have this information together by the 15th? We need another date and time. I don't know if we'll have the information that we really need by then either, anyway, but.
There's always going to be more information. We can make it, we need to have a meeting. We can have a meeting now if you, I'm not prepared for it at this minute, but we can have this meeting and have the direction defined where we're going, and then if that one for some reason fails, a part B to that.
Who do we want to go ahead and
There's no
finish?
reason, I mean, we'll always want more information,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
we'll
if
never
we're
get to a point.
If we're going to discuss this in detail, which we can more if you want to today, or if you want to.
Well, I didn't, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, if we, you got any suggestions on that, Mark, or?
I got another meeting about this also at noon today, So I
You wanna
don't,
wait till after that meeting?
well, we're not going to get through any of it, or very little of it, because that means I have to leave here in a half hour, basically.
Tim, can you come tomorrow night at 6:30? After work?
Yeah, I can come in the evening, I just can't come during the day.
The continuation can go into 6 o'clock or 6:30. Well, I said that now.
Just
I
be a
thought-
regular meeting?
have to, yeah.
Or do we have to give a notice? If we help me here. If we do a continuation of the meeting, we don't have to, I mean, we want people to know, but I'm saying.
Yeah, you would still want to notify news outlets that have asked for notification of meetings, and you would still want to post it outside the room.
Okay, but we can continue the meeting on until,
Yes.
I can make it tomorrow night when I come off work.
Tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
There's a lot to discuss, we'll keep you all here all day, I mean, we're not trying to
Well,
do that, we're not trying to withhold any information.
I'm just, yeah, whatever.
As far as I know, I don't have anything tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. And I got the asset management plan presentations tomorrow, 3 of them. And the last one's starts at 6. If you want to try to do it between 1 and 6, or I know.
I can't be available till after 6.
2 and 4. I really can't cancel. I don't know if I can cancel that, really.
Yeah.
Thursday
Those are the
evening?
town halls for the asset management. IE, anyways, good point. We have town halls for the asset management plan.
What's going on Thursday?
Cayuga, I will get into that. That's on the announcements, so.
Area plan, that's
Well, we can meet in the other room. Does it have to be live, televised, and
Not yet.
not yet.
what do you mean?
It's not required by the state, not yet.
Well, it's not, we're just trying to find a place.
Right.
We'd rather have everybody here, but.
So we tentatively saying Thursday then, or?
When we continue a meeting, John, does it have to be the next day, or can it be the?
I don't know. Well, let me do some work and I'll see what I can find out.
One of the things that I do want to say is that, Em was saying that Park County, we worked with Mark O'Hare and I met with Park County, and they were very open to help us, and we're working on a good relationship there. I think we're going a very positive way. We can discuss that more later, but to come up with these answers, we need to do it before the 15th. So however you want to do it, I mean. I mean, I could possibly be available by phone.
Yeah. I guess later today I could do that. Let me look though. Have a meeting at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
I think
After 3 o'clock, or 3 or 4 o'clock I can, yeah.
I think
We got another meeting, but I don't have to go to that.
What about later today?
Hmm?
What about later today? Can you give them time to go to these meetings and later?
Yeah,
What are you doing, Georgia?
do it this evening.
I don't think I have anything, but I'd have to check when I get back to work. Pending, I mean, I should be available by 4, but again, that's kind of a tentative. I can let Brenda or one of you guys know.
Why don't we just do that today, and then it'll work here, and everybody can see, and we can discuss it.
After,
Can you come back, Mark? What time?
sooner, let's see,
That's okay, right?
Yeah,
today would be,
yeah, you're doing it today, so there's no,
Okay.
It'd be nice to know how,
yeah, it's just the slow internet is slower than that.
So the question was, we had, if it goes more than one day out in the
Yeah.
future,
Can you continue?
Yeah.
yeah, after probably, give me time to get here. I got another meeting at 1 o'clock, so it'll go. at
Your
least an
restaurant
hour.
closes what time?
Right now, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the evening. So, but like I said, I just have to check and see what else is going on. But if you say, what are you thinking, 4 o'clock or?
4 o'clock's fine.
Okay.
I'll let you guys know. Yeah, you can set 4 and I'll.
And if you can't make it, call in or give us what you,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we want your comments and stuff. We appreciate that, so make sure everybody's included. Okay, so we're moving on. Finally. Marathon day,
So 4 o'clock,
4 o'clock.
okay. Continuation.
The town hall, you went over that, right, briefly, those meetings
Yeah,
coming
the
up.
dates, let's see if I can see it. 9 o'clock will be at the Cayuga, it says town hall, it's not the town hall, it's the community center there at 9 o'clock. This is tomorrow. At 1 o'clock we'll be here at the courthouse, and at 6 o'clock we'll be at Universal's town hall. And that's me going over the asset management plan. It's still, it'll give you an idea of where we're at and an idea of where roads fall as far as the interest in the county. There are other attributes to that algorithm that we need to include that will change that order, but it'll give everybody an idea of what the concept is anyway. That order will change once we change the algorithm, and it gives weights to different categories as to road conditions, traffic counts, primary, secondary, tertiary, thoroughfares, etc. So that formula will be changing, so that will change the order, but you can get an idea anyway where these things fall. So if you're wondering as whether what we won't know yet is how many miles of road can we maintain and have paved. Eventually that will come around and give us that answer too, but that's going to be down the road a few months. So in other words, can we have 400 miles of paved road and still maintain it without deteriorating other things, or whether we can do the whole county only or less of it. So it's a very good management tool for us. It also helps us with our community crossing grants. It'll outline where we're going every year and what should be done anyway. It can always be overridden for whatever reasons. If we lose a bridge or whatever, that may change or may set things back, but effectively it gives us that means to be able to manage and have a reason why we're doing things that we're doing. So if anybody's interested in it, we'll have those town hall meetings. You don't have to be from Cayuga to go Cayuga. You don't have to be from Universal to go to Universal. You can go to any one of the three different times. They're all tomorrow.
Follow up on that. Appreciate all the work. Britt has done a lot of work on that. I appreciate that. Also following up on the county engineer, we did get that approved through both counties. We're waiting on some information from Park County on job descriptions, and then we could do our own too if you want to make one up too. But that is a go. And what's going to happen is state's providing $40,000 a year budgeting for each county for an engineer. We were putting our two $40,000 together, make $80,000. Park County and Vermilion County will be partner. We're probably putting $20,000 in a year each, which will make it probably $120,000 of budget amount for an engineer. The engineer will be 50% in Park County, 50% in Vermilion County, and we'll have a $20,000 investment on an engineer for 50% of the time. So that just brings a good thing to our county. Decisions, we did have each highway garage overseen by a commissioner, and now we got one highway superintendent, and we'll have an engineer that oversees it. And then it takes the decision making out away from the commissioners, which I don't think really ought to be involved that much in these roads. I think it ought to be made by determination of evaluation of professional services. So I think it's a good deal. But here in the next couple months, hopefully here in the next 3 months, it will be going that line as far as a new county engineer. So I want to give you an update.
And there hasn't been anything shared between the counties with the job description or how any of that's going to work.
Yeah, that's
yet.
coming out.
Okay, I haven't seen anything yet because I haven't seen how it's going to be shared or who's purchasing the vehicle.
That's the things that are coming out, a proposal that you all can see.
All right.
We're going the right direction.
That engineer is going to be instrumental in this asset management plan, by the way, because he'll be the one that will actually be maintaining this and being able to make decisions and manipulate the data to make it better for the county anyway. So
The rest of
it's
this,
a
I
very
think we can go through
important
pretty quick. Cleanup days, we already covered that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We done covered county bicentennial celebration, we covered that. Thanks again to the Community Foundation for the money. The recycling, we've done with that. Public comment.
Did you announce that the foundation actually did donate? You did that? Okay.
Yeah, I had him up here to do that. Public comment. It's almost after 11 o'clock. Anybody? If not, we're not going to dismiss this. We're going to recess this meeting. And if anybody wants to come back at 4 o'clock, this meeting will continue. Anybody else? Anybody gonna make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Recess, motion to recess.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting in recess. Anybody wants to, I'm not